fucking think this thing is going. I don't know. We'll find out how this all shakes out in the end. Leave it to me. I was going to fucking do a whole thing for this, but now I'm just pissing. I got to pee. I took off all weekend because I was going to write a book. I was going to write a book over the weekend. That's what I thought. I'm going to write a book over the weekend. And it's talking to my buddy, Chad, and Serial, if you guys know Serial. And he was like, no, dude, you're going to get fucking you're going to fuck around. You're going to fuck around the whole weekend. You're going to live in the whimsy and get drunk and whatever. And he's fucking right. He's fucking right, dude. It's like fucking the end of the weekend, and I was like, I gotta do something creative or the fucking week doesn't count, I guess. The weekend is for naught. I don't fucking know, man. I just finished Bill Maher's Religulous. I don't know if you ever guys seen that. Like, I've been doing a kind of a fucking, like a left-wing documentary movie marathon on one screen in the time capsule here, because I got 3 screens in the time capsule. I've got a VHS and DVD hooked up to a CRTV. Then I've got a regular flat screen, but it's like small, like maybe 22 inches, 23 inches, and it's hooked up to an antenna so I can watch football. And then I've got a 55-inch cell phone, which, is next to that. And if you don't know, you don't know. And I don't know how to fucking explain it. It's a 55-inch cell phone. I got it for free. I got Rick Moranis' face on it right now because I can't figure out how to watch anything on it. I can only hook up a USB and do slideshows. So I just put a picture on it every day. So today, in honor of Gibberish Church, we did St. Rick Moranis again. We did St. Rick Moranis last weekend, but I did Gibberish Church by myself today. So fuck it. I did St. Rick Moranis today again. Anyway, why not worship Rick Moranis? Honestly, he should be worshipped every fucking day, dude. But so I was watching on this my left-wing movie marathon. I saw Michael Moore's Capitalism, a Love Story, which was the first one I watched. And I do this thing. You've listened to any other podcast I've ever done or anything I've done before. It's a fucking, what I'm trying to do is, I love Michael Moore, and I talk about how I like to cry edge a lot. I talk about cry edging often. And what cry edging is where I will listen to a song or fucking, I don't know, man. It's just music mainly. I'll try to listen to sad music though. And the point is to try to keep myself on the edge of crying the whole time, just where I'm almost going to cry and almost going to cry and almost going to cry and almost going to cry. But I never really cry. I just almost cry all night for hours and hours and hours on it. It's a super weird thing that I do, but that's essentially what was happening with these documentaries I was watching. I was watching Capitalism, a Love Story, and it's a beautiful movie. It talks about the evils of fucking capitalism, and I hate capitalism, man. I fucking hate it, dude. I do regard myself, but, very much kind of communist, kind of socialist, whatever you want to say, share and share alike, from each according to their need, or each according to what they have, to each according to their need, however you want to put it, whatever Marxist, Leninist fucking goddamn bullshit you need to believe or whatever. But I am for that idea. So I do believe capitalism is inherently evil because it's very competition based, but even beyond kind of competition, it's about who can kind of rig the competition best. It's that idea that if you're not cheating, you're not really trying, but also if you're cheating, you're breaking the rules. But if you don't get caught, you're supposed to try to cheat. That's kind of fucking the way this shit works, man. So I was watching this. This is the way capitalism works. There's these things called derivatives. You ever heard of fucking derivatives, man? What they are so best I can understand it. And I know listen, okay, I need to say what this podcast is first. Then I'll get back to derivatives. We're doing the weave. Welcome to the weave. So I don't really consider this a podcast as much as a transmission. Where I'm at right now, and honestly, it took me all weekend to get here, I'm living what I call the whimsy. I say it a lot. People don't like it. It annoys people. The reason I call it the whimsy is because I'm kind of in this area between reality and kind of this drifting between fact and fiction. What's real, what's surreal, what's mystical, what's magical, what's objective, what's subjective. And in the whimsy, I'm in and out of all of it at all times. And I truly believe when I'm in the whimsy that there is no right, there is no wrong, there is no black, there is no white. There is merely the gray area. And amidst the gray area, there is, a variety, a rainbow of colors of gray that dwell within that gray area. So I don't fucking live in any kind of area where one man can say to another man an objective truth. And I am literally flying through the whimsy right now. But there is what I call the IRL. And the IRL is what most people that will hear this think is real life. I got it from where they would say like IRL in like a text message, meaning in real life or whatever. Like people say, are you, is it official? Have you met? Well, we've met, but have you met IRL? No, we haven't met IRL yet, but we will one day. So there is this idea that IRL is the objective reality in which we all live amongst. I call it collective perception because I don't believe in objective reality. I believe it's collective perception, meaning collectively we all kind of agree on a certain set of rules just to function. And since we collectively perceive those things the same way for functionality's purposes, then, we have our own individual perceptions, which could be different than the collective, but the collective is where we all kind of come to an agreement at some point. And so in the collective perception, AKA what other people call objective reality, I call it the IRL. The IRL is a simulation. I have no doubt about that. It is a 100% simulation, but not only is it a simulation, it is a parody of a simulation. The IRL is a fucking joke, man. Like we live right now in the IRL. Let me tell you what's going on in the IRL right now. The United States of America, which is this very crazy country founded by kind of racist Puritans. It was essentially like these crackpots from England, these religious fucking zealot nut bitches. They fucking were so extreme about I think what happened was Henry the 7th or 8th, whatever, the guy that founded the Church of England, he wanted to get a divorce, and the fucking Christians were like, well, you can't get a divorce. And he was like, hey, new church, boom, Church of England, you can now get divorced. Then he got divorced, and fuck that bitch, send her packing down the road or whatever. But he did the divorce. And he invented a religion to do it. He invented the Church of England to do it. So then the Christians in England were, oh, he got divorced. This is the worst thing that has ever happened in the history of humanity. And we must now leave and go take another country from someone else. So all these goddamn pilgrim, Puritan, bitch, Christian motherfuckers get on a boat. And by the way, historically, my family plays part of this history. Before they got on the Mayflower, they got on a ship called the Speedwell, captained by my great, some kind of great, I don't know how many, grandfather John Chappell from the Chappell family. I come from the Chappell family. I know I'm J.C. King, a.k.a. Naked Edmund, a.k.a. the VHS cult leader, a.k.a. just John. But like at the end of the day, I do come from the family of Chappells. And the Chappell family had the fucking Speedwell. And so, yes, my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather of some sort had a ship. And he was commissioned by these Christian puritanical bitches to take them to the Americas. And they got on the ship, the Speedwell. This is before the Mayflower. They got on the ship, the Speedwell. And he gets like a football field or two off the shore. And this set the tone for the entire history of my family's name from then on out. Gets about a football field or two away from being in the fucking history books. If my ancestors bring the fucking Pilgrims over here on the Speedwell, that's the ship all the fucking kids learn about in grade school. But no, that is not the ship they learn about now. They learn about the Mayflower because about 2 football fields into the water, the motherfucker springs a leak, and the captain has to take the ship back. All the fucking Pilgrims are like, what the fuck was that? And then they get off that boat, and then they get on the Mayflower, and then they come over here. But that is how this fucking country started. In the IRL, the United States of America, which is pretty much the top dog. It's like the goat of countries right now in the IRL. And like that country was founded by these crazy, Christian people. And so Christians, they got kicked out of their own Christian country. They were like, go over there, leave us alone. But then what happens is they get over here, and then somehow from being like the crazy Christians that like killed all the Indians and stole the land, and I think they had one good dinner. Maybe they shared a turkey. I don't know if that happened or not. That could be myth. That could be. I haven't researched the history of Thanksgiving enough to say without a doubt it actually happened. Don't believe anything until you do the research, basically. But maybe they had one good meal, but minus that, killed those people. The natives on this land, they just took them out because for some reason people believe nomadic people, like you have to like make up fake shit to lay claims to land in this world. That's the weird thing about the IRL. In the IRL, if you just like, let's say you're born onto land and you go, you're just grateful. Thank you for being born onto land. And now I will dwell amongst this land and I will eat amongst this land and I will be a part of this land and that will be my, existence. That would be common sense as a, citizen of the earth. But for some reason here in the IRL, like if you're just like that, like a hippie just dwelling around not laying claim to anything, well, it's not yours. So then, some usually white guy can come in and, fucking kick you out and take your shit, fucking put a fence up, say that it's, his now because he's got a fence, because the fence is the border. The borders make things real. Governments and borders make things real. They're as fake as anything. Governments are fucking fake, as fucking money is fake, as fucking borders. It's all fucking fake. That's why I know we're in a parody of a simulation, not an actual simulation, because there's so much shit that's fake, but the collective people just believe it. That's the weird thing about the IRL. These fucking people just fucking believe it. They like, hey, monopoly money. It's money. It means something. It's just paper. No, but it means everything. We'll kill people over it. We'll take land. We'll start wars over it. It's fucking stupid. That's how I know the IRL is a parody. So much dumb shit. So anyway, so like, I guess I'm telling the story of the United States now, but I'll try to make it quick. So these fucking pilgrims kill the Indians. They have the land. But at some point, there's always a struggle within Christianity. I know because I grew up in a Christian cult called the Campbellites. They now call themselves the Church of Christ, but they're called the Campbellites. Don't let them tell you otherwise. And they're pretty extremist Christian. And since I grew up in a pretty extremist Christian, church, I kind of know how this shit goes. And so I know what these people have been saying and how these people think. And like, there's this fucking like constant struggle in Christianity because Christians are people too. That's what I'm telling you. Like, if you're not a Christian, you're listening to this, like, you may not know what it's like to be a Christian, but Christians at the end of the day still like watching porn and jerking off. But the only difference is they feel so much shame afterward. They almost want to kill themselves with the shame that they feel for just, enjoying a fucking, porno or something. Like they really, really fucking have a lot of shame. And so it's this sense of shame and haunt and this struggle between being a vulgarian and embracing your base self and then being like a proper person, like prudish, polite society, whatever you want to say. So it's a struggle between doing what they see as right, but also just being the fucking animal at the end of the day. They are just this fucking biological animal. And these motherfuckers, they just don't see it. So the struggle between the vulgarianism and the Puritanism goes on amongst Christianity. So by the time we get towards like the 160 years later, whatever, the 1770s, we're in a more of a vulgarian society. Around the time Thomas Jefferson was not president, but like Thomas Jefferson and around the revolutionary time periods is what I'm talking about. Around those time periods, like the less people went to church per capita than go to church now. It's a far more religious society right now than it was then because you had this rise of what was called deism at the time. And deism was like this collective belief, hey, we believe in God, but dude, we don't fucking we don't give a fuck about the miracles and the weird shit. Like let's just say God is around. That's cool. Let's do the God thing so we don't just kill each other. So we believe in something. But let's not do the thing where women can't cut their hair and fucking you have to fucking share one, like the cup of juice becomes the blood of Christ. Let's get rid of all the weird shit. So essentially that's what deism was. It's like the idea of like, let's just believe in God, but like, let's get rid of the weird shit, guys. So that was kind of like what was going on around that time, Christian-wise. And then, so you're kind of this more vulgarian society. But again, this is it. In the IRL, this goat of a country, America, what happened was, like I say we to whoever's hearing this transmission, because I am an American as well. I should let you know that, full disclosure. I am one of these fucking Americans as well. I'm also a white man. It's a fucking problem. But these vulgarians at this time get so pissed off that like the government that's kind of been like funding them killing all the Indians and shit, that government's kind of been kind of maintaining society while they rape and pillage and plunder the spoils of the earth and fucking kill the bison and, ravage everything. These pieces of shit. But they're kind of like let to do this by the British government. The British government still fucking had control of the land. But then the British are like, hey, dude, dude, you guys are having a lot of sex. We're having a lot of kids now. We're more of a vulgarian society. So there's more fucking going on. There's more kids being had. We've got to fucking like just get a little bit more money to help pay for you guys. Okay. We got to get a little bit more. So we're going to put like some taxes on the tea and shit. And we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Fucking put a stamp tax or whatever. And these fucking lunatics, these American lunatics that people talk about now, like they're fucking great. Like Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin and James Madison and Samuel Adams and fucking John Hancock or whatever. Like, fuck all those. They're all fucking lunatics. It's like if the Proud Boys won. That's what fucking 1776 was. It's if the fucking Proud Boys won. Like there is a in the multiverse, which I'm trying to broadcast out to right now. In the multiverse, there is one where the Proud Boys won on January 6th, and now every American has to become if you want to become a citizen, you have to get fucking gang jumped and name 5 breakfast cereals while getting punched for 60 seconds. Yeah, that's a fucking universe that exists in this fucking infinite world that we live in. It does. It's a thing. Deal with it. And that's what 1776 was. It's the fucking Proud Boys won. The fucking Proud Boys won. But we're like, no, dude, like these guys are brilliant, dude. These guys are great. These guys are really good. Fuck. And now probably 9 out of 10 of them had syphilis brain because they were just dropping their dick in any French whore they could fucking pay for. Like, fuck these motherfuckers, dude. Fuck them all. So anyway, like that's kind of like, so then you get nativism, which is a string that follows, so then you had fucking, then you had the United States because we fucking didn't want to pay for the tea tax and the stamp tax, and we threw a hissy fit, and then we fucking started our own country, and then we let these lunatic Proud Boys write the founding document, which we still act like it's meaningful. I'll tell you right now, fuck the First Amendment, fuck the Second Amendment. They're fucking stupid. I would say the R word, but I don't know, like that's probably not cool anymore, so I won't, but it's fucking the R word is what I'm telling you right now. That's what the First and Second Amendment are. Pretty much fuck a Constitution, dude. There's an artist I listen to, Michael Franti, and he had a song, I don't remember. Rock the Nation is the name of it. It's off his second album, Stay Human. And I think it's the 4th or 5th track, maybe 3rd track. I can't remember, but it's a really good song. And in that song, he says, fuck the Constitution. Are we part of the solution or are we part of the institution? That's what we're talking about. Are you part of the fucking solution or are you part of the fucking institution? So easy to be fucking institutionalized. So don't fucking ever fucking believe in a constitution. It's stupid. Constitutions, Bibles, rule. These are all stupid fucking things, people. Don't fucking believe them. So anyway, so then these fucking people, then they have a country and then they fucking get in a fight later on because you had this string of nativism running around. So essentially there were, in the founding of the United States here in the IRL, there were abolitionists when it was founded. And the big decision they had to make early on was, are we going to do the slavery thing or not do the slavery thing? Ultimately, economically, they decided, because, again, if you want to know the history of America, we like fucking money. We're money-grubbing bitches. Despite our Christian background, we love fucking money. Actually, if you want to look at the history of Christianity, look at the way that Christians exploited Judaism, because it's not a sin in Judaism to do usury. And so the Jews ended up becoming bank lenders historically because the Christians had to get them to loan them the money because they couldn't do it because the fucking usury was against their rules. Christians are they're cunning, but in a bad way. I'll tell you that about Christians right now. Cunning in a their religion's too flexible. That's the scary part about the Christian religion on the IRL. It is scary as fuck. Because it's like 1 second, they'll be like, oh, you can't do this. And the next second, but you can do this if it's Tuesday at 2 in the afternoon and the sun is shining, because that's how God likes it. That's why it's a very scary religion. So anyway, so getting back to it, so then these fuckers, so we decided to do the slavery thing for economic reasons because Americans have always been greedy, fucking money hungry bitches. So we do the fucking slavery thing. And then after the fucking slavery thing, then at some point, then like people are like, we shouldn't do the fucking slavery thing. But around this time, there's a streak of what's called nativism. And nativism has always been, it's very uniquely American because it's so stupid. What it is it's people who were like born in the United States of America. Even though like, let's say their dad is a fucking Irish immigrant, but they were born here. They then become a native and then they become a nativist, meaning anybody who's not from here, they're like, fuck the Irish, fuck the Italians, fuck the Jews, fuck the Chinese, fuck the Mexicans. It's always somebody. It's always somebody. It's always fucking, it changes who it is, but it's always somebody. And it's always perpetrated by fucking white people. Always perpetrated by white people. So just this constant string of nativism has been with us from the start, and it stayed with us even after the Civil War, even through the Gilded Age, even post the Gilded Age, into World War I, World War II. There's always this string of kind of nativism. America first, make America great again. These are things that come from, we're talking like the 40s, the 30s. This has historically been with us for a very long time. So what happened is this is the first time we've ever done it. So here in the IRL, catching up, who is ever listening to this transmission, I am in the whimsy, but I am talking about the IRL, which is the parody of a simulation in which kind of my collective perception reality dwells within. Like on that place, there is a country, which is the goat of all countries, called the United States of America. And I just told you the history of it. And so anyway, what happened is at some point we elect a TV star, a game show host. We elect a game show host to be our leader. And he is very good at being a game show host. He's fucking, could be the goat of game show host, honestly. Could be the fucking, I thought it was Alex Trebek, but I'm reconsidering. It might be the Trumpster, dude. He's orange. He talks not like people talk. He's in a weird shape. He eats horrible food. He kind of sounds very dumb. Honestly, he has weird ideas. It's like as if a cartoon was a real person, and then we like voted for that to be our leader. And that's our leader. That's the leader of this goat country, the goat of all countries. Current leader is a cartoon Yosemite Sam type, Looney Tunes type character. And it's just a weird fucking time to be alive. It's a fucking super goddamn weird time to be alive. So I say all that to get to the point that what I'm saying now, this is the preamble. I don't know. I didn't know. I told you guys, I didn't know this could go 5 minutes or 50 hours. I don't know where this goes, but we're just doing this. This is called the IRL Mixtape, and this is a transmission. Even though it's going to be broadcast out into the internet, what my hope is that it can somehow penetrate through to another multiverse or another, plane, whether it be a 7th, 8th, 9th dimension, whether enter to the realms of the heavens with the seraphim and the Nephilim. I don't know where this broadcast goes, but this is a transmission not into the IRL. The IRL can hear this, but this is not for the IRL. This is a transmission to whoever can hear it. This is a distress signal. This is my SOS, guys. Okay? This is me broadcasting into the ether saying there is a planet. It is in distress. It needs help. I don't know what to do about it. I'll be honest. I don't know what to do about it. I've often spent my life wondering what the meaning of anything was, what the purpose of most things were. And as I've come to the kind of grips with the fact that, one, there is no free will, I was kind of mind blowing. Like it's weird because people think a lot about like how we bring order to the chaos, but the truth is the chaos is the exception, not the standard. The standard is order. So people think out of chaos comes order. That's not correct. Everything is somewhat predetermined, predestined. It's because we're in a simulation, but a parody of a simulation, but we're still ones and zeros. So everything abides by a certain number of rules. So we still live within that framework, but that's where the chaos can come into play, because the interesting thing is every now and then there's a glitch. Every now and then there is something that can kind of reshape the game, as if it were like Ryan Reynolds in that fucking Disney movie, Free Guy, I think is the name of it, where he realizes he's a computer simulation, but then because he realizes it, he can become a real person, real boy kind of deal, like Pinocchio. I don't fucking know if I'm explaining that right, but the point is, realizing that I'm in a parody of a simulation has given me the ability to try to do things that I'm practicing now, which was like inverse thinking, manufacturing magic, a lot of these things that I've been working on, trying to almost like, it's like now that I know what the rules are, now that I know I'm in the parody of a simulation, how can I bend the rules? Where are the loopholes? Where are the glitches? These are the things I'm kind of seeking right now, trying to figure out. But that's also why I broadcast this. I broadcast this out into the multiverse, out into the heavens, out into the ether, out into the infinite universe, with the hopes that somebody, somewhere, some way, somehow will hear this and respond, and you just help us figure it out, because we're lost right now, guys. We're really fucking lost. I took a bunch of notes. I don't know, man. I didn't know how this was going to go, because I knew it wasn't going to be a podcast the way that I associate podcasts or a show being. I knew it wasn't going to be with a guest host or a second person. I knew it couldn't be manufactured in any kind of way, because Shison was always a little bit better than Least Dangerous Podcast. For those who go back into the exploded years, you may not know what I'm saying, but the point is, like, we had a show called Shison for Brains, me and Cyril, which was like freeform. We were just two guys having a conversation, and we let the sails take us where the boat led us, or whatever, right? And so that was what we did there. And then I had the show, The Least Dangerous Podcast. It was very structured, based on the idea of a late night talk show, but done in podcast format. And I enjoyed some of it, but it was a lot of work. And like there's always this thing about doing a show where it's artifice. It's part of the show. And this, what I'm doing right now, that's why I call it a transmission, not a podcast. This is not part of the show. This is a man seeking, fighting, figuring, battling for truth. This is a man reaching out into the universe, screaming at the top of the lungs, there is something fucked up about our current situation and the expectations that are thrust upon, the human race as a species. And I'm goddamn tired of it, to be honest. So I took these notes. Let's see, what notes did I fucking take? I wrote this down the other day. The cartoons don't know they are cartoons. I thought about that. The reason I thought it was smart is because, what I thought was funny about that is, we in the IRL watch cartoons. And if you don't know what a cartoon is, whoever hears this, cartoon is an animated, kind of hand-drawn. It's like a simulation, in a weird way, a simulation of kind of reality, but in two-dimensional format. So cartoons are usually watched by children and adults, but in a humorous way, meant to make us laugh. In particular, there's a very legendary cartoon of a coyote, Wile E. Coyote, and a roadrunner. I don't think the roadrunner has a name. I think the roadrunner's name is Roadrunner, which is kind of trippy. Why does Wile E. Coyote get a name, but Roadrunner doesn't? I don't know. Maybe that says something about, kind of the patriarchy or not. I don't know. Something's there, maybe. But anyway, the roadrunner always gets away from the coyote. Fucking always. I thought about that the other day, too, because I fucking cheated death. That's a thing I did on purpose. As I've been living in the whimsy, I've kind of become very accustomed to this thought of death not being something to be afraid of, but merely more like something to be embraced. You know, it's a journey, it's a mystery. It's possibly the possibly the last great mystery unto, you know, existence is death. What is death and what happens? And there's, you know, kind of the very, you know, atheist and kind of hard-nosed approach of that we are dirt and we turn into dirt and we come from dirt and we go back to dirt. And, you know, there's that idea, but there's also like consciousness and where did it come from and where does it go? You know, just shut the fuck up with the dirt. There's consciousness too here we're dealing with. And then there's the fucking religious parts about the fucking heavens and the hells and the fucking afterlives, and all that seems like a big fucking fugazi to me too, man. Like, I don't buy any of it. The one thing that kind of makes sense to me is this idea, which would go with a simulation, would also go with reincarnation. You could do either one. But it's this idea of like repeating over and over again and correcting the mistakes. You live life once and you fuck it up this way, and then you get another chance. Take your second opportunity, you fuck it up that way, you get another chance. And each step along the way, maybe you learn a thing or two. Maybe you get a little bit better. And as you kind of move and course through the ages of time and the annals of history, and you cycle through different life forms and celestial, spiritual beings, and maybe you're a plant, and then you're an animal, and then you're a mineral, and then you're a star, and then you're fucking back to fucking being a human, however it works. But by the end, if you can fucking figure it out, like what I'm trying to do right now, where I fucking am really trying to think like, this is a parody of a simulation. Let me understand what I'm in. Let me understand the rules. Let me figure out how to bend them a little bit. It's what I'm working on. And, you know, not to be arrogant, but I really do feel like I seek truth more than most because, you know, I'm lucky to surround myself by a cohort of friends and family members who seek truth, but so many do not think about these things. So many do not, you know, dwell in it. Fuck, I wrote a song about it. I was going to fucking do I was going to do this test thing before I did this. I was literally going to do a test and then I just started recording it and now here we are. But the test I was going to do was a song I want to write. I don't have a guitar right now. I got to buy a fucking guitar. I'm poor. I need to buy a guitar. I need a guitar. I got songs in my heart. A lot of songs in my heart. I got to get them out. But the song I thought of, I called my buddy Dylan. I was telling him about it because he's really good. Like he's a very impressive individual because he's like learned music in a way I never did. Meaning he learned like music theory. He learned, you know, scales. He learned the notes. Like I didn't fucking fuck with any of that shit, man. I had a chord chart taped to a door that I just looked at and practiced every day. And then I didn't even know what chords were supposed to go with what chords, but I just kind of started feeling them out and got a feel. And then for whatever reason, 3 chords went together. Everybody knows the chords G, C, D, G, D, C, however you want to fucking do it. Those chords always sounded good to me together. So pretty much I wrote about 1,000 songs based off of those 3 chords. Just the same fucking song over and over again, just different words, but like whatever. But like he learned music theory. And I called him and I sang the song to him. And I think he's working on figuring out the music of it. I hope he can because I'd like to play it one day. But I did think about this because this is how I was talking about truth seeking and shit and how I feel like I might be the only one. But this is the song I was thinking of. It's just a hook, not a full song. It's just more a hook, but there's a song there. And it goes like this. John, you part of the universe too much. John, you part of the universe too much. John, you part of the universe. I say, John, you part of the universe. John, you part of the universe too much. And then guitars kick in. Dun, 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 dun. John, you part of the universe too much. Dun, 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 dun. John, you part of the universe too much. John, you part of the universe. I said, John, you part of the universe. John, you part of the universe too much. So that's the song I'm kind of working on. But that's how I feel. I feel like I do that. I feel like I fucking think too fucking much about shit, man. Too much do I think about shit. And living in the whimsy doesn't help because everything's more intense, you know? But fuck it, I'll give you another song while I'm at it because I was going to open with this one too, being this thing is taking a life of its own now. And this song is kind of about, I think, kind of what we've all made a collective decision to do as a society. And, you know, the way I've gone is like you can do one thing. You can be a part of the resistance, which is an option. You can be part of the resistance. You can kind of like, swallow the medicine if it were, just accept the reality. Or what I choose to do, which is, you know, the way I like to live in the whimsy, embrace the absurd. I try to encourage people to embrace the absurd. And so the way I see it is we're all making a choice now to live in whatever fantasy, mythos, legend, seriality we want to tell ourselves. Make your own magic, people. This is the time. If we're in the golden age, and if, you know, RFK is the Health and Human Services Secretary, and Matt Gaetz is the Attorney General, and, you know, Trump is president, and fucking, you know, he's, you know, survived 500 assassination attempts. And my point is what I'm saying is like, just make your own fucking magic, man. Make your own fucking magic. I see people in churches every day with their hands to the sky, praising Jesus Christ, and they're in a moment of pure bliss and joy, and they feel everything they need to feel and want to feel in their hearts and their souls, and what someone might even describe as the God-shaped heart in their soul, which we all have, but it's not really a God-shaped heart, soul size. It's really kind of a fucking fear of death-sized hole in our hearts, but that's beyond the point. The point is they believe it because they want to believe it. You only believe what you need to believe so you can believe it, kind of deal. They believe what they need to believe to fucking function, and so do all of us. And so the way I choose to do things is embrace the absurd. And the way that I choose to embrace this exact moment in time that we are in right now is I choose to be a fucking lunatic. And that is what I wrote this about. It's kind of a fucking weird chitty chitty bang bang style song. I can be a lunatic and we can be a lunatic and you can be a lunatic too. Oh, I can be a lunatic and we can be a lunatic and you can be a lunatic too. I can be a lunatic and we can be a lunatic and you can be a lunatic too. Oh, I can be a lunatic and you can be a lunatic and we can be a lunatic too. A lunatic too. Lunatic too. Oh, I can be a lunatic and we can be a lunatic and you can be a lunatic too. Lunatic too. Lunatic too. A lunatic too. A lunatic too. I can be a lunatic and we can be a lunatic and you can be a lunatic too. That's kind of what I'm talking about. That's how I'm choosing to embrace the times in which we live, my friends. Live in the whimsy. It's a fucking thing. You can choose to do it, people. All right, what the fuck did I? Let's look at my notes. Okay, that's the cartoons. Oh, that's the same. So the cartoons don't know they're cartoons. Imagine this, my friends, the coyote and the roadrunner, which I described to you earlier. They are in their world. The cartoon that they are in is just like we are in a parody of a simulation, and we don't know that we're that. The cartoons don't know they're cartoons to us, but in their world, they're fucking real. So think about a world in which the coyote gets an anvil dropped over his head over and over and over and over again. This fucking coyote's tired of having this anvil fall on his fucking head. He doesn't see a cartoon, and this is for jokes for the people watching. He just knows he's getting a fucking anvil dropped on his fucking head, and he's sick and tired of it. So my empathy and my heart go out to fucking Wile E. Coyote. The cartoons don't know they are cartoons. What's in my notes here? GoofLumps. This is actually what fucking reminded me of the fact that we're probably in a parody of a simulation. Was that I fucking found this book. I remember seeing it. It was you remember those Scholastic book fairs they used to have at the fucking schools? I don't know. Like they're probably a grift. I don't know exactly how that grift works, but probably a grift, I'm thinking. But it was at one of those Scholastic book fairs. Pardon me for a second. I'm just fucking take a gummy for a second. I'm thinking about whether or not I should. I have a cigar, and I think about smoking it in my apartment. Apartment's the time capsule for those, the uninitiated. I call the apartment the time capsule. I don't have the internet. I have a lot of old shit, like VHS and DVDs, and like I'm trying to make like a Blockbuster kind of. I have a lot of VHS right now. Old TVs, Sega, shit, board games. everything's trying to do like a whole analog thing, you know? Call it a time capsule. Just got a trash can, actually, for it this weekend. It's odd. The little things in life you don't appreciate. I was listening to this podcast. I think it was a Joe Rogan show. It's about this lady that escaped North Korea. And she talked about the first time she saw a trash can and how crazy it was. Because in North Korea, there's no idea of waste because they can't waste anything. They're eating grasshoppers. These fucking people are surviving off of nothing. Like they have to like sell their shit back to the government at the end of the year and it has to weigh so many pounds so that they meet their quota so they don't get killed. So this is a fucking... She escapes, thank God. She gets out of North... But she goes to China and she sees a trash can and she can't figure out the idea, the concept of waste doesn't exist to her. And so for me, like I just like... I've been in this apartment now maybe 9-10 months. And I just got a trash can this weekend. I've been hanging a little Walmart sack on a doorknob and just throwing my trash in there. And every night I'd put my trash in. Every morning I'd take the trash out. Don't like keeping trash in the house. But my daughter, for my birthday, fuck, why am I getting emotional? She bought me a trash can. Because she knew I needed one. It's a pretty beautiful thing, actually. Pretty beautiful thing. And not only did she buy me a trash can, she knows her dad's a fucking weirdo. So she bought me all these like, kind of like UFO and space and cartoon shit stickers to put on it. One of the things you don't realize, I guess it hits you when you get older, is, goddamn, fuck, little things. So much more vastly important. It's one of the reasons I don't really get fucking worked up about religion and politics anymore. Like, believe what you want to believe, think what you need to think. Do whatever you need to fucking do to get through this life, man, to be honest. It's a tough motherfucker, this life. It's a tough motherfucker. And decorating the stickers on that trash can with my daughter yesterday. Pretty much worked the whole weekend. So, anyway, GoofLumps Scholastic Book Fair, that was the story I was telling. I remember encountering this. I've always been a fan of parody. Ever since I heard the Dr. Demento show and heard Weird Al, I've loved parody. And so at this book fair, there was this book. It was called GoofLumps. And I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was it was Eat, Cheese, and Barf. That was it. Eat, Cheese, and Barf, GoofLumps. And GoofLumps was a parody of Goosebumps, which was like a young adult novel. And they only did 2 GoofLumps. They did Stay Out of the Bathroom, which I didn't get, and then they did the second one, Eat, Cheese, and Barf. And they were like, it was a style parody written by this guy, Are You Slime? It didn't catch on, but it was a parody of, fucking Goosebumps. And the fact that it exists is so fucking ridiculous to me that, like, that made me laugh. It made me joyful. It made me happy because that's what I think the fucking world we live in is. It's a goddamn GoofLumps. It's a goddamn GoofLumps. Don't take shit too serious. I didn't know how long I was going to do this. I have a stack of shit I want to get to still. Maybe we'll save that. Got a lot of music shit I want to talk to you people about. I want to talk about the Kingfish. I want to talk about Lola. I want to talk about late stage Alabama albums. But this is the note I think I want to finish on tonight, is the GoofLumps thing. I think this is the perfect... It's always important to finish on some kind of note. I don't know where these things go or how these things end. This is my first one of these. I'm calling it the IRL Mixtape. Because, like, because I'm doing the whole time capsule thing. It's a mixtape, and also because I consider what everyone else around me considers to be objective reality, I call the IRL. So in this, I'm transmitting into the universe, hoping that somebody in another dimension or another multiverse will hear this and come help us. But what I want to end on is the GoofLumps. Yes, I get it. There's a time and a place to be serious, but the truth is, we do not live in a world where we know for 100% certain that there is free will. We do not live in a world where we're 100% certain that we're not a simulation. We're not 100% certain about aliens, ghosts, astrology, religion. There's a song by Kanan. He's a Somali rapper. The song's called Take a Minute. In the song, he goes, any man that knows a thing knows he knows not a damn thing at all. I think that's wisdom. I think the truth is none of us know. We talk shit. Monkeys talk shit. It's fine. I talk shit all the time with my friends. We say shit we don't believe, but we act like we believe it because we're talking shit. We all do this. We're fucking monkeys, man. It happens. But never think that your monkey shit you're spouting, the monkey shit talk you're doing, is really ever right, because it's not. No one's ever 100% right 100% of the time. There's always the chance that it's wrong, and that mere chance, whatever you think it is, whether you think it's a 5% chance you're wrong or a 95% chance you're wrong. Personally, in my case, I think everything I say is about 99% probably not fucking right about shit. But I do think that, like, any man who knows a thing knows he knows not a damn thing at all. I think that's true. This is a fucking parody of a simulation that we're living in, people. It's a joke. It's a fucking fugazi. Don't take anything too seriously. Try to always remind yourself at the end of the day, it's fucking GoofLumps.